Chapter 35. Tom was sitting in his office doing paperwork. Why is being a Dark Lord so full of paperwork? Lucius helped with the politics and keeping the seats they held in the Wizengamot away from Dumbledore, who, as the head of the Wizengamot, got the seats that were left by heirless lords or ladies, or by those who lost their seats due to a punishment, or those who were too young to control their lordship/airships. Lucius held Tom's, Sirius's, Harry's, and Draco's, till Draco was of age. Sirius wished that he could go back into the Wizengamot and take on Dumbledore politically. Even though Sirius was a prankster, he was very smart politically and knew how to get people to listen to him, much like Tom. Harry walked in the office holding a book on torture curses, most likely from Bellatrix, Rodolphus, and Sebastian. Those three gave Harry all the parental love and affection that he missed out on all his life. Bella, Rhodo, and Rab lost their son to Dumble, and they saw Harry, who didn't have that affection. They gave him all the love they wanted to give their son. He was their favourite person in the manor. "What do you have there, kitten?" Harry smiled and sat on Tom's lap, holding the book in his lap. "Uncle Rab gave it to me. It's on torture curses, so I can hurt the Dursleys and Dumbledore." Harry's cat ears showed that he was sad and concerned. He was scared of seeing the Dursleys again. "They can't hurt you. Not again. I won't let them." Tom meant it. No one would hurt Harry as long as he was alive. "I know. But what if they get loose, and you can't get to me?" Harry trailed off and then hid his face in Tom's neck. "I mean it, kitten. They won't hurt you. Do you think that Bella, Rhodo, Rab, Sissa, your dad and father would let those awful muggles hurt you? Puppy and I are never letting them so much as lay a finger on you." Harry hid his face even more and tried to become one with Tom. "Hey, why don't I get a hug?" Sirius was being dramatic. "Oh, I see. Now that you have Tom, my pup doesn't want me anymore." Flopping on the couch, Sirius was pretending to die and see the white light. "I love you too, Siri." Harry went to Sirius and kissed him, before hitting him with his tail. "What was that for?" Sirius started to tickle Harry. Tom loved hearing his mates laugh together and seeing Harry so happy. "My lord, it is time." Barty told them. Narcissa was there and held out her hand to Harry. "Come on, let's get you dressed for a torture meeting." Narcissa was leading Harry out of the room, talking about different clothes for the meeting. She is going to talk both sets of his ears off. Barty shook his head affectionately in Narcissa's direction. "How are you and my cousin doing?" Sirius was fixing his leather jacket while talking to Barty. "Oh, we are doing very well. She is the best thing to happen to me." They made their way to the meeting room. When they got there, Tom made himself look like a Snake Man hybrid. "You still look hot." Sirius kissed Tom on his snake-like lips before they entered the room. "Go check on my little kitten," Tom ordered Barty before he escorted Sirius to his throne. There was a 3-person throne in the meeting hall. Barty came in with Narcissa, and Harry entered after them, going straight to his mates. The Dursleys had been in the dungeon for 3 days, and they looked like they'd been there for much longer. "Welcome, my lost loyal." Tom started with his normal greeting to the inner circle. "Today we have these muggles who hurt my mate and tried to take him from us permanently." The Death Eaters threw insults at the muggles. They loved the sweet little Nico, and their lord and his mates. Sirius was smiling as Harry sat on his lap and kept himself steady with his tail. "Let us go!" Marge Dursley yelled, only to whimper when Fenrir growled at her, showing more of his wolf side than normal. "We can do whatever we want to you, filthy, disgusting muggle." Rhodo slapped her across her fatty face. "Don't touch her, freak." Vernon got a crucio thrown at him. "Do not speak. You have no power here." They were huddled on the floor. Petunia was using her slim body to try and hide her whale of a son. Tom smiled slightly at the pain and terror the muggles betrayed in his presence. Harry, you can choose who gets their punishment first. Harry's ears perked up and he moved to stand in front of them. With a sadistic smile, he pointed his wand at them. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. He just pointed at Petunia and waved her aside to Dudley. Your turn, Dudley, Harry said in a sing-song voice. He looked crazy, and Tom and Sirius were getting quite turned on by this. No, you will not hurt my son with your freakishness. Vernon was going purple in anger, and Harry just hit him with his tail. What to do with the awful piece of flesh? Bella, Rhodo, and Rab were led over to the muggles. I need your help, just in case I can't hold them up high enough. Rhodo and Rab kept the other muggles away from Harry, and Bella was instructing him on the correct movements. Some of the Death Eaters were giving Harry some tips on how to hurt the muggles more. Harry was interested in the invisible hooks. How do I do that? The Death Eater looked to Voldemort for permission to approach his mate. Let me show you how to, my lord. Harry was given some pointers, and to his credit, Harry learnt it in under 4 minutes. Good job, little lord. The Death Eater bowed and went back to his seat. Can you stay, just in case I can't hold the spell in place? The man stayed closer to them and watched the smaller boy cast the spell. Dudley screamed in extreme pain as gaping holes were in his shoulders. He twisted and made the holes deeper and much worse. Stop it! You're hurting him! Petunia was screaming. Marge threw up as the blood sprayed the Dursleys. Shut up. Roldo's lordship ring cut down Petunia's face. Vernon strayed against his restraints, which only made them tighter. Marge was just throwing up more than before. She was about to die from dehydration. Dudley passed out, and then Sirius threw a killing curse at the mutilated corpse of the boy. Time for the rest of them. It was a long day. It was well into the night when they were all dead, and their corpses were placed in number 4 Privet Drive, and the house was set on fire. Harry was finally safe from the monsters, and Tom and Sirius were happy to help clean their blood-soaked mate, and they really cleaned him, and then dressed him, and they went to sleep together. Chapter 36. Harry looked for his dad. It was strange to him that his dad had been the teacher who disliked him the most. Dad? Harry, there you are. Severus walked over to his son and checked him for any injury he may have gotten during the torture and death of the Dursleys. I'm fine, Dad, but I read that a submissive creature can go into heat. Harry looked at the floor like it was the most interesting thing in the world. You want to know if you will? Harry nodded his head. You will go into heat shortly, and you will only want Sirius and Tom around. If you hadn't found them, then the only people you would want around you would be myself, James, and Lucius. Severus saw his son's black ears flatten and his tail curl around his stomach. Are you sure that you're all right? Harry leaned forward, and Severus let his own Nico features show, and wrapped his tail around Harry. My stomach hurts a little. Harry needed to go to Narcissa, just to make sure that he was all right. Come in. Alpha was there, and she moved Harry to a chair and made him sit. Pain in your stomach? Alpha was quick and to the point. She never really smiled, but she was a nice lady. She just worked so much. All right, little one, lay down for me and let's see what's going on. Alpha sounded soothing, and Harry laid down on the newly made bed. Have you fully mated with the Dark Lord and the Grim? Yes. Harry blushed and looked away from his dad. Harry, you need to know that it was a good thing. If a submissive creature doesn't bond with their mates, they get sick. Very sick. Severus hugged his son, who then pet his dad's grey cat ears. You like my ears, baby boy? Harry giggled and then gasped when Alpha placed cold gel on his belly. It looks like you won't be going into heat for a while, little lord. Alpha pointed at the screen and showed Harry the babies. "You are having twins, little lord, and it appears that you are 4 weeks along." She cleaned the gel off and gave Harry some proof for his mates that they would be daddies. "I will wait to tell your father until you say I can," Severus told his son as they walked to Tom's study. "We will tell our family tonight if Sirius is here. I want them to be the first to know." Harry looked away again. "You're not mad at me for meeting with them, are you?" Harry looked nervous. He only just gotten Severus as his dad and Lucius as his father. He didn't want to lose them. "No, I could never be mad at you, baby boy. You lasted longer than James, Lucius, and I. When we came into our inheritances, we jumped each other in the prefect's bathroom." "Ew!" Harry faked vomiting and ran from his dad. "I didn't need to know that. I could have lived my whole life without knowing that." Harry was giggling as they entered Tom's study to find Sirius was there along with 2 members of the Order. "What's going on?" Harry went closer to Voldemort. "These 2 idiots thought it would be fun to try and rescue my dear kitten." Voldemort held out his hand and Harry went over to him and was sat on his lap. "Now, they think that you aren't happy here. Is that true?" Harry snuggled closer before he got an idea. He looked at his dad, who got the hint and left the room, putting up security spells and silencing charms on the room before leaving. "Why would they think my mates don't care for me here?" Harry asked, and Sirius went over to them and sat by Voldemort's feet. Harry moved his shirt up a bit and showed some of the hickeys he'd got the night before. The Order members looked horrified. They didn't know that Harry loved to have his bite marks on display. "You raped a boy?" the Order member yelled at Tom, who only glared at the piece of filth in front of him. "He didn't rape me, I asked for it." Harry snapped and then kissed Tom and moaned like a little whore when Sirius licked his neck. The 2 Order members were horrified that the teen was acting like this. Harry obviously wasn't done playing this out yet and unbuttoned the top of his shirt so that Tom could see better. "Kitten?" Tom warned. No one was allowed to see them like this, and Sirius was getting seriously turned on. "Can we go to our room, Dom? I have something important to tell you and show you." Sirius and Tom sent the Order members to the dungeons and then apparated to their rooms. "You were naughty, pup," Sirius growled in Harry's ear. "Lay on the bed, kitten. It's time for you to learn why you don't tease us with an audience." It was a very good night for the horny Nico.